Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Data Engineering Bootcamp from LAAS Technologies. My name is Maruti K. I have around 18 years of experience in the IT industry. I have started my career as a pure SQL Server DBA, and throughout my career, I worked on I covered most of the technologies, including RDBMS, NoSQL, and recently I have started working on VectorDB, GraphDB, and many more. So the whole intent of this course is like as the data engineering is booming, so we're going to deliver a course which will take around 45 to 50 days, which will empower people who want to enter into the IT field, especially in the data engineering discipline. So with that, let me start off with the content. So let me start. What is data engineering? So before I start, I just want to get the pulse of the audience. Like anybody knows what is data engineering? Can you please unmute and come up, please? Otherwise, I'll start no issues. So I just want to know, anybody have done some R&D out of it, or so what pulled you to this boot camp? I just want to understand. Open up, guys. No issues. Okay, yeah, let me start. So data engineering is a practice where we build, manage, maintain huge amounts of databases and make it available for the application. So that is the simplest definition of data engineering. And today we are going to talk about multi-cloud database administrator. Why multi-cloud? See, before cloud era, in the sense, before 2006, I think around 2006, AWS got started, and post that, AWS, GCP, and Azure. So these are the three big players in the cloud environments. So why multi-cloud means? So each one is a specialist in one discipline. So our motto is to make use of the best of the best of all the three and be relevant to the industry. Clear? I want some feedback here. Either a thumbs up, you can make use of reactions. Okay, yeah, I see some reaction from some annotations from Venkatasai. Thank you for that. So in this day and age, why it is important to learn data engineering? So I'll just talk about it. So when IT came in, the first thing which came in is coding. So we all started or not heard about, like, people started working on the coding, C, C++, Java, or whatever. So the only way to react with a computer is through coding. Either high level, C++ is a high level thing, but under that algorithms will be there, middleware will be there. But only thing is, at that point of time, only coding is the only way to interact with the computer. But we have advanced so much, you need not learn coding. So with some kind of expertise in the database administrator, you can get a good job where, I mean, it will, I won't say like at the all the levels of the hierarchy, like starting with the consultant, senior consultant, you can go until the chief data architect or chief CTO when you focus on this discipline, data engineering. So when we started career back in 2006, 2007, so at that point of time, the need of the hour is the experts. So I started as a SQL Server DBA. Learned, I completely immersed into that subject, and at that point of time, so the jobs were also there. When I joined a company, it has around 30 DBAs working on the on-prem databases. Now the technology got advanced. We At this point of time, what we need is generalists. So we don't want, the companies also don't want like he's a master of SQL server but can't do Postgres, can't do MySQL, can't look into NoSQL databases. Companies are not looking that way. The best example is recently in my own company, like we got two openings, which is one for a consultant entry level position and the other is a senior consultant position. So what I did is my senior manager from US asked me, yo, Pawan, go ahead and prepare JDs for this. So what I did, so being leading a DB team, I understand like these are the areas we need uh, positions. So I went with him like Azure centric DBA, and the other is a big data centric DBA, which should know Snowflake, BigQuery, MongoDB, etc. etc. So the immediate response from my manager is, we at this point of time, we are not ready to take the people who has only super expertise in one thing but can't do other thing. He or she should be open to do whichever thing that comes up. See, that is how the industry is going. I hope you understand. I'll just take a quick pause here. I just want to know, so far what have you got? Anybody, quickly? Okay. uh, so that is the why part of it. So why it is important to learn data engineering, and that too multi-cloud. So multi-cloud, see, if you learn one thing properly, let's say if you learn AWS properly, so the same technology, when I talk about SQL Server or MySQL or PostgreSQL, so they are being offered as a native service. Let's say in case of AWS, it is RDS, Relational Database as a Service, and the same thing applies here. More or less, the rules are same, but how you tackle that problem, that how things will be in GCP. See, AWS is the first player who entered into the cloud. So, and he, that is the reason he has the biggest market share. If I'm not wrong, like 65% of the market share is with AWS, and then Azure, and then GCP. So if you concentrate on AWS first and then expand it to GCP and Azure, so you will be clearly relevant to the industry at this point of time, and the chance of getting a job into the data engineering are very, very high, if you ask me. So that is about the why part, and let me talk about the who part. So who are the folks who can learn this and enter into the IT industries? So it is applicable to both freshers and the lateral hires. Lateral hires meaning experience. So I'll give an example. So one of my friend who was working on a testing, let's say. So he got some 3 years of experience, and he's not seeing a growth in that. Let us, I'm giving a hypothetical example. So he's not seeing growth there. So at that point of time also he can learn the data engineering, multi-cloud database administration, and can switch into the database role straight away. Okay, so it will help both the freshers and the lateral hires to enter into the to get a good DBA job. Okay, now a DBA is a generic term, but we are calling them multi-cloud DBAs. So there is no earlier we used to call them SQL Server DBA, Oracle DBA like that, but now those days are gone. So those were around 2002, maybe it was possible until 2014 or 2015. So you can enter with your deep expertise in one technology, but those days are gone. But so that is how, who are the people who can enter this industry? Both freshers and lateral hires. It will help them get a good job with a good salary, and you can see at the not only think on those lines. So our motto is not getting a good job and get a good salary, and the way it will transcends, like so at what is the hierarchy that I reach? As I told you in the beginning, you can start as a fresher. If you work on these skills, you can become a chief data architect or a CTO also. So see, everything is a data, right? So if you think on those lines, so we are calling it as information technology. What is information? Information in raw form is data, and our job is to maintain that data, right? Being a database administrators, our job is to make it scalable, and we have to make it available for the application and the end users. Clear so far? Are you with me? Any thumbs up, thumbs down? As I said, you can make use of the reactions if you can't talk. Is the reactions available? I'm not seeing it. Okay. So I hope it is clear so far. And let us talk about what we are going to learn. Okay. So,
I see Lakshman raised his hand. Maybe he can post his question.
yep, please. I'm open to questions. Lakshman.
Hi, Maruti. Myself, Lakshman. So, yeah, it's very informative till now. So, just correct me if I'm wrong, what I have understood till now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my understanding, I poured my understanding here. So, just correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, as I'm new to data engineering. What I've understood is like data engineering is a data management.
Yep,
So, to manage the data, we have many parties like AWS, cloud, GCP kind of parties.
yep,
So basically, let's say I'll take one example, then I'll explain. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
yep,
So we have Facebook, right? Let's
yep,
say day on day in and day out, right? Let's say I am the Facebook user. I am posting couple of posts every day, and
yep.
I'm giving some comments and likes, right? So basically, these are all data, right? Flow. Let's say after 1 week, I've logged into the system. Then I want to see what are all the comments I have done and what are all the likes, what are all the posts I have done, right? These data has to be stored in somewhere.
Yes.
Earlier post this data engineering, and as you mentioned, we introduced with the coding. So internally coding also, storing data. But before in data engineering, right, we don't know where to store, where to retrieve. So after data engineering introduced, these all the data, I mean, I'm taking one example of this. So all the data are storing somewhere that is called a warehouse, whatever it is,
Yeah.
some a storage part. They are storing there, and whenever requested, it retrieving from there. That is what I understood data about the data engineering. So is that my understanding correct?
Yes, absolutely, Lakshman. So our job is to maintain, manage data according to the all the security guidelines, and it has to be retrieved fast, on demand. So that is the whole intent of data engineering. Correct, as you said. Yes, we will make sure the data is available for the application with the fast retrievals. Yes.
Okay, okay. So to retrieve
Yeah.
fast from the storage, so we have many kind of supporters like AWS, GCP, and Azure. So each one have different mechanism to store and retrieve. But based on the application, we say we can make use of all the AWS or GCP or Azure. That's what
Yes.
I understood.
Yes, yes. Yeah. It
Yeah.
see every one has a different use case.
Yeah.
So sometimes AWS wins, sometimes GCP wins, sometimes Azure wins. Right. So each one has their pros and cons. So that is why, as I told in the beginning, so our motto is like, we should be able to make the best use of all the three clouds. So I'm not saying in the market only these three clouds are the available. So there are many other cloud providers, but these are from the giant companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. So people are more inclined towards using these rather than something from China or something from Korea. Clear?
Yeah, got it, got it. One more word, like I like it, like you told, like if you loan any particular one that is not a market standard, so we have to learn best of the
Correct.
all the providers, so that we can call it as multi-cloud database administrator, right? Yeah, got it. Marty, thanks. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Lakshman. Okay, let us go about what we are going to learn. Okay, so we will start with relational databases. So I'll just give a basic uh, of what is a relational database. So in relational database, we will store the data in tables, in simple rows and columns. So if you see SQL Server, or in the olden days we used to have Oracle. So now PostgreSQL, MySQL, so many things are there. MariaDB, so many things are there. But SQL Server and Oracle are the big players. I'm not talking about current today, but if you take that is what when we started. So we only had SQL Server DBA or Oracle DBA. So Oracle DBA should be well versed with Linux. So their life is dedicated to black screens, right? There is no color in their life. So when I got a chance of choosing which way I should go, either Oracle or SQL, when I started my career, so I seriously didn't like the Oracle, because if for every thing you need to write a command, type in a command to see everything, in fact. So then I have chosen SQL Server. Why? At that point, SQL Server is the only thing which comes with a GUI, graphical user interface, meaning it is not a black screen or a black console where you have to go and type things, but with few mouse clicks, you should be able to see what is going on. So I'm not saying you should not learn the queries or scripts. We need that. But majority of the things we can accomplish just through the, if it is a backup, if it is a adding a user, if it is creating a database, if it is creating a table, whatever. There are many things which we can do simply with the use of mouse clicks. That is the case with the SQL Server. So as I started my career with SQL Server, I can say I'm an expert at it. Even today, I'm leading a team. I don't use the SQL Server on a daily basis. But in my team, if anything comes up with the SQL Server, I'm the right guy. People will come to me. Hey, this is the error. This is the error that we are facing. How to troubleshoot it, right? So what I am trying to tell is here, those days we were experts in something, but now as a starting point for this training, I will pick this up because this is my, I'm just giving a blank there. Anybody can fill it. Some interaction. Okay, I'll say this is my strength. See, as I started with this, I know in and out of it. So I'll make sure as a starting point. So here there are two things. When it's a SQL Server, it comes as a native offering. When I told RDS, right, Relational Database Service, SQL Server will also comes part of RDS. But you know, right, there is a market rivalry. So which is the company that will provide SQL Server? Any guesses? Any guesses? Maybe it can be a wild guess also. You can do that.
Microsoft.
Yep. So Microsoft versus AWS or Amazon, right? So SQL Server, see this guy, the licensing cost will be more if it is for SQL Server when it is on top of RDS. That is why we offer SQL Server on EC2. EC2 in the sense EC2 is a VM basically. Okay. So EC2 is a server. So we will install SQL Server with our installables and we will maintain and manage that. Okay, let me quickly open. So what are we going to learn? So installing SQL Server, licensing, cost optimization, security, how we are going to uh, make sure it is secure with encryption, SSL certificates or whatnot. And we're going to teach how to do a backup, how to do a restore, and how to create jobs. See, we should learn T-SQL. Transact SQL is the programming language for SQL Server. It is more or less the same. It is like SQL only. SQL is same for both Oracle and SQL Server, but it is I mean, Microsoft has created the T-SQL only for SQL Server. So we are going to learn T-SQL for SQL Server. See, as I told you, there are certain things which we cannot accomplish on GUI. So for that, we need queries. So for that, we are going to learn T-SQL. And HA means high availability. DR means disaster recovery. So how we are going to accomplish that? uh, and how to do performance tuning, as Lakshman told, like we are going to make sure the data is available 24/7, and it should be retrieved in a fast manner. So when I run a query, it should not take hours together, right? So when you go to Facebook and click on it, it is, if you are clicking on that like, instantly that is being liked, meaning there is a query which is going and updating a record in the database that so and so post, so and so user has liked it. So there is a flag like. So that record will be updated as on, like is on, and instantly after 2 minutes you you changed your decision. I'm not going to like it. You again click on the same, which is like is removed. The same thing will be at the back end. It will be that that flag will be off, right? So instantly it is being done, which we don't know at the back end how it is going to be implemented. We don't know, but that is how it is going on. So every web application, everything that you are seeing on your smartphones now, so that is how it is being managed through internet. Clear so far? Yes or no? Okay. So that is about SQL Server. This is my strength. I'll give everything in my power uh, for you to get good knowledge on SQL Server database administration. And the second thing is the relational database service. It is the native offering. So as I told, so we will get SQL Server on with RDS also, but the licensing cost is more. That is the reason we will install a VM, and on top of that we will install SQL Server and manage it. And how about the rest of the DB technologies? It is, if it is a MySQL, if it is a PostgreSQL, if it is Oracle, if it is a MariaDB. So all those DBs are being offered through native service called RDS, Relational Database Service. Okay, so there we'll just give an introduction. What are the use cases? Supported database engines, how to launch, what is IAM, what is VPC, encryption, backup, snapshots. So snapshot is nothing but a server backup. So if I run a snapshot, it will take the backup of entire RDS instance, right? With that, I can take it to another account, and I can create one more RDS with that snapshot. And how to restore, how to monitor. So there are many tools like CloudWatch, CloudTrail. So on top of AWS, we can make use of them and monitor and performance. So multi-AZ. So what is multi-AZ? AZ is availability zone. So I'll give an example. Let's say there is a US East region, which is North Virginia, right? Where when you are trying to spin up the RDS instance, you choose the region. So in our case, we have one region in Mumbai, and I think Asia Pacific we have in Singapore, and one in Mumbai. So if you want to create those servers or instances, you have to choose that. Okay, but why I'm saying US is I'm used to that since so many years. So we are supporting US clients. So that is why we provision those RDS instances in North Virginia, which is US East 1. So what is meant by AZ? Availability zone is, so your server, whichever thing that you spin up, will be spanned across 2 or 3 regions. It is up to you. So let's say if one region is drowned, so some natural calamity hits, it is drowned, but your DB is up on another one. So AWS has think through that, and they have built multiple AZs in one region. So it is not like a complete data center is down. North Virginia is down. No. Data will be up 24/7. They will not say 100%, but it depends. 99.9994979 of the time. Right. So for each service, it differs. When we go to that tutorial, yeah, we will discuss there. So how many nines of availability that AWS offers, I'll tell you there. And read replicas. Read replicas will increase the read performance. You may ask me what is read? Suppose one production database, when people, let's say, take the example of Facebook, right? So there is one DB which is in North Virginia. People are going to that, talking to the DB and getting the retrievals. And there is one more team, which is a data analytics team. They want to run some reports on top of this data, right? So they don't want to insert any data or delete or update. They don't want anything. How this is working, they want to run analytics out of it. At that point of time, we will create read replicas. See, there is a production database in Virginia. We will create the replica of it in the West region, California. So what these analytics people will do, they will not touch the production database, because if they run reports, obviously the performance will take a hit on the production database. That is the reason we will create read replicas, and the analytics people will run those reports on top of that. Reports in the sense simply selecting the data, and they will have some parameters to check how this data is working. Okay, so that is the use of read replicas. So, and cost management and reserved instances. So reserved instances, suppose, so let's say you are working on a project which will last for 3 to 5 years, right? So obviously, right? So I'll give you an analogy. Like when you go to a shop, so you ask for a pen, he'll say 50 rupees. Okay, when you say I want 100 pens, will you go for a bargain or not? Obvious, right? So he'll say no. I want it for 35 or 40, right? So obviously you'll go for a bargain. So the same thing happens with the reserved instances. So when you know you want this instance for a longer period of time for a cheaper cost, reserved instance is the solution. So he will provide a discount. AWS will provide a discount on the reserved instances that you choose. While setting up the thing, you say, I don't want on demand. On demand is build per hour. Okay. So you build a server and it is up only for 1 hour. Only that hourly charge will be incurred on that particular service. But if it is a reserved instances, it will run for so and so period of time and you will get a discount out of it. Clear so far? Okay. So followed by Aurora. So what is Aurora? So as I told, in this day and age, people are building applications more on you know, right? So recently, not recently, it's been 3 years with the inception of ChatGPT, with the AI revolution that we are living in. I don't know how many of you are realizing. So we are living in a AI revolution. So it is like back in those ages, like yeah, I found fire, I found wheel. It is that kind of a era that we are living in. Some people are realizing, some are not, but that is the truth. So in this age, people are not building applications for these heavy people. SQL Server is a heavy thing. Oracle is a very much complicated thing. People are not building apps on top of. See, there are some enterprise applications like a banking. Definitely they want SQL Server. Definitely they want Oracle. But not every app is a banking app, right? So multiple use cases, and also the licensing cost is less when people go for MySQL or PostgreSQL. So these two technologies are being supported through a powerful engine, which is a proprietary engine provided by AWS, which is Aurora. So Aurora is a proprietary engine, right? Which supports both MySQL and PostgreSQL with a lot of better performance. So MySQL on RDS compared to Aurora MySQL, there are multiple ticks will go for Aurora than RDS, right? Because they have optimized this engine for MySQL and PostgreSQL. So in that, we will discuss what is Aurora, how it works with MySQL, PostgreSQL, and scaling and auto scaling. So the huge benefit of using Aurora is, so if you go for scaling, so let's say I have built an Aurora server with 2 vCPUs and 8 GB of RAM, right? Which is a basic configuration for a database instance. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing a huge traffic. So I have built that database server to cater the 100 concurrent users. I'm just giving you an example. So that is all of a sudden that traffic got increased to 250. So in the RDS case, it will time out and it will give error. CPU is 100%, memory is 100%. I cannot take the load, right? So after 100 users, it is maxed out RDS. But Aurora will think intelligently and increase the resources. It will increase 2 vCPU to 4 vCPU. And it will increase the RAM also. It is initially we have built the 8 GB. Now it is 16 GB, right? So that is how it works. And after Aurora, we go for DynamoDB. DynamoDB, we take, see, this is a simple key value database. So that we discuss about it. And DocumentDB, so it is a it is a MongoDB supported offering from AWS. So we are going to discuss about that. And when it comes to GCP, as I told RDS, right? So the same thing, Cloud SQL is the counterpart offering of RDS, and Spanner, BigQuery, and Bigtable. So these are the technologies that we are going to, these are behind the Google search, right? So Google search, when you hit a keyword, so it will give millions of records. So this is the technology behind GCP, and AlloyDB is a counterpart of Aurora. This is also a specialized engine that Google provides. And apart from these two, we will dwell into Azure also. So we will talk about Azure SQL database. As I told you, SQL Server is a Microsoft offering, and Azure is a Microsoft cloud. So they will go deep into this. So we're going to discuss that. And managed instance, it is kind of a, you can think of a RDS of Azure, and managed instance is a SQL Server on EC2, right? So, and after that, we discuss about Azure Data Factory, and which is an ETL offering. So I think these are the stuff we are going to cover. So I'll open it up for the questions. Anybody can ask anything.
Great, Marty. So you gave a lot of stuff as a fresher, right? I'm not able to grasp all things, but it's very good thing. Maybe you gave all the overview that what are all the content you're gonna cover. As per my understanding, I'm fresher, so most of the things I followed what are all the tools and technologies are used.
Yeah.
But it's a heavy stuff, on top of
Yeah, yeah,
me. Yeah,
obviously, obviously.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's very very good session, Maruti. Like we gave clear instructions, clear picture what needs to be there. What needs to uh, learn, right? Yeah, it's. I have one question here. Will you support for certification as well, or how it is?
yeah, we will guide you, Lakshman. So I'll give you, what are the courses that you need to learn, and I'll give you the dumps as well. So you can practice and crack the exams. Yeah,
Yeah, current market is running on the certification. So that's what I asked
correct,
this
correct,
question. Yeah,
correct. Obviously,
will you support that also, right? Certification and all.
yeah, we will. I'll guide you through, like, see how to approach a exam. So
Mhm.
all that I'm going to, yeah, cover.
It's a great Maruti. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
hi Marty. I'm having one more question here. Sandeep. What is the market expectation? And so I can see there are multiple options and multiple openings are coming from the MNCs like data engineering, data analyst, or kind of a data related roles and all. So if I learn this course, what is our expectations? Company expectation is what? Can you please go on that?
Yeah, yeah. As I told in the beginning, like, it starts with the entry level, Sandeep. So you can start as a analyst, and start working on this. As you grow, when you go deep into these things, so there is opening for consultant, senior consultant. You can go until chief data architect as well. So when you go deep into this, so I'm not saying only these things. As you learn, there are few more will be added. I'll give guidance on that. So, but this is a good starting point as a fresher or a lateral hire to step into the data engineering.
Okay, thank you. There is a question from one of the
Yep,
candidate,
yep.
on what days will the classes be there, timings and duration?
So we're going to start on, I think 11th is the Monday, right? One second, let me check the calendar. Yeah, we're going to start on 11th, Sandeep. So, as I told, like I'm a full-time guy, so 6:30 to 7:30 works for me. So we will cover in 45 to 50 classes. So I'll give a heads up if there is no class. So tomorrow. So anyway, we will have a WhatsApp group. So we will talk over there. So I'm we are going to start on 11th of August.
So is this going to be a daily training or is it going to be the weekend trainings? I'm sorry if I missed this point earlier.
No, it is a daily training. So it is a daily 1 hour training or whoever is talking. Sorry if I missed it.
And daily, you're talking about having it in the evening, 6:30 to 7:30.
Evenings I'll be having calls.